What is up, everybody? My name is Nick, joined again by my co-host Matt. Ready to talk about some NFL? What is it? The conference championships. I'm excited.
Sure.
Absolutely
Right, it
excited.
is.
Couldn't ask for better games, without a doubt. I really, you can't ask for much better. Matt, what are your thoughts? Obviously, we did well last weekend, both going 2-1. What are your thoughts about these upcoming games?
Yeah. First of all, just going back, we both went 2-1. Thank goodness. My Bills' future did indeed fall short. I was able to cash out, which was awesome, which is weird.
What to give you?
Like $1,000. And before the game, it was like 3, so like it made no sense. I cashed out in like the third quarter, and they were down like 20. So I took it and ran, and then I was like just praying the Bills didn't come back, which they definitely didn't. But yeah, have some alive. My preseason prediction actually was that I made the video about was Chiefs over the 49ers in the Super Bowl, and I never bet it, but I did make the video about it before the season started. So it would be cool to see that come to life and say I called it. Did not think that Brock Purdy would be in the 49ers quarterback position, but either way will still be cool. Going to that 49ers game in general, I, as a Giants fan who lives in New Jersey and in central Jersey, so kind of wish I lived more north and away from a lot of Philly fans, but geographically I'm in a tough spot, and it's tough to root for the Eagles. Although I will say it's a lot different than when I was 14 years old and I'd probably cry if the Eagles won, but now it's just like, oh, whatever. So just kind of happy to watch some good football. And I do think the two best teams in the NFC are the Eagles and the 49ers. So, all the power to them for getting there. I will say from a fan perspective, you have to root for Brock Purdy unless you're an Eagles fan. Like, I feel like it's just like a cool story. Not like the Bengals thing I said the other week, but like it's just you just
when you called everybody an asshole.
They are still assholes. If you were happy that the Bills lost, you're still an asshole. But the 49ers is a cool story just because the Brock Purdy story, Mr. Irrelevant, is just a great sports story. So I'm probably pulling for the Niners in that aspect and because I don't want the Eagles to win. But as far as betting goes, I hate this game. I think it can go either way. I do think the 49ers are going to have to run the ball a lot, which they have a great run game. If the Eagles can stop the run, they have a chance. If not, I do think I lean it under just because I think the 49ers are going to try to run the ball, control clock, waste a lot of clock, and try to have long drives. But I don't think I have anything of substance betting wise for this game. And I don't think I'll have anything going into Sunday either, but you never know. What are your thoughts on this game? It's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you for the most part. I think it's basically a toss up as of right now. I'm still waiting on a couple things. I feel like this game in particular, the other game you have to be quick on, either make a decision now or wait, depending on what direction you want to go. But for this game, I feel like the lines are set where they are. They're not really going to move, and just kind of wait a little closer to Sunday to make that decision and look into a lot more things overall. I love the matchup. I think they are the best teams coming out of the NFC. Couldn't ask for anything better. I think 49ers got to finish their drive, something they struggled with last week. Obviously, the Cowboys have a good defense overall, but so do the Eagles. I think they need to run the ball. Brock Purdy can't turn over the ball. You saw how that pretty much cost the Cowboys the game last week, throwing those 2 picks from Dak. I mean, he completely flipped the field, gave the 49ers free points, and kept the ball out of the Cowboys' hands. But for right now, it's an absolute toss-up. I'm excited to watch it. It's going to be I think that's the best game out of the two. But I mean it's like 51% over 49. So it's not a big difference. There's
49. I see what you did there.
But let's get into the next game because there's a lot more to talk about, especially with Patrick Mahomes having this high ankle sprain. Just getting reports from Ian Rappaport before we recorded that he is practicing today. He's in no walking boot. There's multiple videos of him walking out of press conferences, no limp whatsoever. Very surprising for a high ankle sprain. I'd like to think it's not a high ankle sprain and they just over-evaluate. Not that he didn't sprain his ankle, but a high ankle sprain usually out a couple weeks. It's absolutely swollen. Tender to walk on. He'd be fine for the game he played in last week, which he did fine. But, once that swelling starts, it's going to be difficult to keep down and pain away, but that doesn't seem to be the case. What are your thoughts on that game and the status of Patrick Mahomes as of right now?
Yeah, I will say I think the AFC had the best storylines to go from, no matter what the outcomes were, as long as the Chiefs won their game. Would have been a Chiefs Bills rematch or a Chiefs Bengals rematch. And obviously, one of them is going to deliver. And I think this game is going to be absolutely awesome. Um, no Tyreek Hill in this matchup. I kind of wanted the Tyreek Hill versus Eli Apple feud again, but it is what it is. Eli Apple still running his mouth. And this was kind of a flip from last year where I felt like the Chiefs were kind of running their mouth and the Bengals were like, nah, we're here. Now it's almost like the Bengals are like running their mouths, and now it's the Chiefs' turn to get some revenge, return the favor. For me, if it's still plus money in a few days and I get more insight on Mahomes being healthy, I think the Chiefs at home at plus money you'll never see again in an AFC Championship game for the next 5 years. So I would be obligated to take it. I also think it's tough to beat a team so many times in a row. Burrow is 3-0 against the Chiefs. But I think the stat that I saw, correct me if I'm wrong, if people who are watching, Mahomes was leading going into every fourth quarter in that game. They blew a 24-10, I think, lead at half in the AFC Championship game. And then earlier in the season, Travis Kelce fumbled for like the first time since he was 5 on a long drive, gave up a short field, and ended up losing to the Bengals again. I just don't think they can get – if the Chiefs are winning the fourth quarter again, I don't think they get unlucky again. I mean, a fumble's unlucky. The last time was kind of like a collapse where the Bengals defense played very well in the AFC Championship game. And Mahomes did tweet a clock right after the Bengals won their game. I think this is more personal for Mahomes than any other game. I think if he's healthy or even 75, 80%, he can make throws and sling it, not even having to plant his back leg as much. He obviously won't be as mobile, but he can sling it with the best of them. So I don't think it's as important for Mahomes as it would be like a Jalen Hurts. But he is kind of like one of those half mobile quarterbacks who does like to run a lot. I do think this Bengals team overall is better. I think, as in regards to the whole roster. And I think McDermott, the coach of the Bills, made a great point. 3 of the 4 teams that are in the championship, the championships, all are on their quarterbacks still in their rookie contract. So you can still pay everybody else. I know Mahomes and Kelce, I believe, both took a little bit of a pay cut to try to bring Juju and other guys over. But at the end of the day, when you pay your quarterback who deserves the money, and like your wide receivers and Kelce who deserve the money, you're going to have depleted talent the rest of the way, but that's kind of what you have to give up in order to keep those guys. So overall, roster-wise, I think the Bengals have the edge, but I think Mahomes has enough to get it done, and I think it's the Chiefs' turn to get the Super Bowl again. I really do. I did it before the season started, and I'm not going to change now. I do like the under overall as well. If Mahomes is a little hurt, and let's say he does get taken out a little bit and Henny comes in, I think the under is an absolute lock. I think the Bengals would take a lead, and also the Chiefs would also try to run the clock out. That drive that they had Henny come in took like 6-7 minutes, where they had just 2 runs, quick throw, 2 runs, quick throw, stay in bounds and move the ball, waste a lot of clock. I think this has more of an under feel to it. I think people want to see an over, but I think under 47 is kind of a sharper play. I may have more of an idea of what I'm going to play when we make our picks video, but as of now, I'm kind of leaning the Chiefs in the under.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you pretty much on most of that stuff. I think the Bengals match up a lot better. Their defense is elite. Obviously, they're going against the number 1 offense in the NFL right now, but that defense of the Chiefs is suspect. And we talked about this last week. That red zone, especially in the red zone, they're 31st overall. And versus a talented squad like the Bengals, you're going to run into problems. They got to score points. They can't come from behind, but so much. Obviously it's Patrick Mahomes, and I can look really stupid, and he can probably, he could score 100 points. But at the same time, you just don't want to go behind on a defense like this, especially with an offense that can run the ball and just take over as far as the run game against that. I'd say they're middle of the pack as far as defense. Their offense has just kept them in game, outscored people. That's why they struggled versus those bigger numbers against the spread late this year and last week, just because of backdoor situations
Yeah.
where they're able to, just give up those easy points, still keep it within them. They're going to win the game, but those games are just, within reach as far as the spread. So I really just think they need to score points, and that defense needs to step up for the Chiefs. That'll be the big question. Like you, I'm waiting till tomorrow at the very least for our live show to go over picks, because I really need to just make sure Patrick Mahomes is, 100%. I think if you think that Patrick Mahomes is going to play, you've pretty much already missed it. Let's be honest. But if you think Patrick Mahomes is going to play and you want the Chiefs to win and you think they're going to win, now I don't see it getting much better unless Patrick Mahomes was out, and then I think that's going to pretty much change your opinion on whether the Chiefs win or not. So I'd say grab it now if you like Chiefs money line.
Yeah.
Yep. Guys, like and subscribe as always. We do have a live show tomorrow, the 26th at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Join us then with Austin Props to go over our plays. But other than that, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.